Before we get started with this episode, I wanted to share with you that earlier this year, we started doing more of our podcasts as video podcasts. All of our audio and video episodes are available on our YouTube page. We'd love it if you'd check it out. And please, while you're there, be sure to subscribe to our channel. This way you get notified of new videos and new episodes that are posted. You can also find all of our videos on our website at MokenasFrontPorch.com or by searching Mokena's Front Porch on YouTube. Matt and I hope you enjoy this episode, and please be sure to share our podcast with a friend. Trustee Metanias, thank you for sitting down with me. You have decided to run for mayor this election, and we had a previous conversation. We really got to talk and I think get to know you. I dragged you around Main Park.
Yeah, I thought we were going to be sitting at a bench.
I have to apologize. I caught you a little off guard with
fine.
that.
You know, I need to exercise.
I hear you. But I think it was a good conversation, and we kind of tipped off a little bit. You know, we heard that you were planning to run, but so you did tell us, but we didn't really get to talk any more about that. So this is kind of an opportunity. We talk more about the political end or the business end of now that you're running. So first, just how's the campaign going? What do you think so far?
It's going well. It's going really well. We have meet and greets coming up so that people can meet all our candidates, myself and all the Friends of Mokena group. Ask questions, listen to what we got to say. So we have 3 dates. We have one on actually February 20th, which is coming up this Thursday at Stony Point from 5 to 7 o'clock. We'll have light appetizers and refreshments. Please come on out and ask questions. Get to know us a little bit better. You know, I mean, we're there. We'll be walking around. Excuse me. We'll be, obviously making a couple speeches or whatever. And then we have another one on the 27th at 19th hole. And then the last one is going to be March 6th at the VFW. We thought we'd just keep it in. We went to one side. We're staying inside. So we're trying to catch, and help businesses out throughout by doing that, So.
And what's your hope? What do you think, your expectations for those meet and greets?
So people get to know us. I want people to know who we are if they don't already. So I want them to learn what our policies are and what our philosophy is. And any questions they may want to ask us, we'll be, more than happy to, answer.
So maybe start just talking a little bit. You've been on the board for, I think this is your 20th year.
Yes,
is that right?
Correct.
So after 20 years, what made you pull the trigger and say, it's time for me to run for mayor?
Well, you kind of said it, 20 years, it was time. It was time for me to run for mayor. And I felt that as a business person, which I was in business for like 34 years in construction, actually local 134 IBW, the leadership skills that I have, we need those on the board. And we need people that can communicate with the rest of the board, communicate with our staff, get things happening. We need somebody in there that can move our village forward. Our village is kind of stagnant right now. And it's easy to blame other people for maybe your inabilities, that you can't get things done. But a leader get things done. And I guarantee you, I will get things done in the village, including downtown, including the rest of the village. We talked about a comprehensive plan for like years. Nothing happened. I mean, so then when Mayor Flusher was out sick for those 4 or 5 months, and I was the mayor pro temp, I communicated with the board. I said, we need this. Here's why we need it. Here's what the cost is going to be. We need to put it in the budget. So I was able to get that done, and we put it in the budget. So right now it's going on. I don't know when it's going to finish exactly, but we had a lot of input from the village. They've been to different events in the village. They have a website. People can go on and there's questions. And that will tell us, give us a better idea on what we can do, what we can do with the village, where things can go and not go, what we need with, and also in our downtown. I can throw out, we need traffic study. Okay, why? Who said that's going to help us? And what's he going to do? Is that going to give us grants? How? None of that has been explained to anybody. They just throw out stuff and then see if it sticks. It makes it sound good. I think that our village, it's an easy choice. Do you want to continue the path we're in now, or do you want to change?
So talk about that. Then what, you come into office, what kind of changes would you make, or what does that mean for you? What do you do differently than currently?
What I want to do is, first of all, with our comprehensive plan, I want to get the studies back and see exactly what we need to do, whether for our downtown area. What do we need there? Do we need certain type of businesses to come in or not come in? Also, all our ordinances, they're outdated. There's nothing that current there. So I need to bring all those up to date. Not only that, but I want to put them on our website so that if a developer or a contractor wants to come in to our village, they don't have to make an appointment, come in and see somebody. They can go right online, get all the information, all the ordinance, what it takes, what they need to bring in the development or whatever they want to bring in. So I want to make sure that gets done, because without that, it takes us forever to get through the process. And I think a lot of builders, developers, we're going to call it, is they shy away from Mokena because it takes too long to get things done. I want to speed up that process. So make sure that we bring meaningful businesses into our town and make it as easy as possible for them to get here. I also want to be able to take care of our existing businesses, because it's our tax base, right? Mm-hmm. If we don't take care of the existing business and we lose them, then we lose our sales tax revenue that we need. This way we keep the taxes in Mokena low. So I want to make sure that we get all that stuff done. Also, communicate with your board. You know who was really good at that? Joe Warner. Joe Warner, when I first got elected, I wasn't part of his team at the time. But as soon as I got elected, he reached out to me right away, and then when I got on the board, he would call, he would pitch me his thing on a development or something, then he'd listen to what I have to say, and work with me, not just me, but the whole board. Mm-hmm. That's a communicator. That's a good leader. And we need a leader that can lead. We need somebody that can make things happen. A leader doesn't blame other people for his inabilities to lead. And a leader makes things happen, and I will. I guarantee you, I promise you that.
Talk about, you bring up Mayor Joe Warner, and so were there any examples where he called up and you were just really in disagreement? And how did you deal with it, in that
Originally,
case?
when the Myers was coming in, he called me, usually from Vegas. He says, hey, we have an opportunity to bring a Meyer in, I said, man, I don't know. The residents have been kind of, at the time, this is back, I said, why don't you, when you come in, let's talk about it. Let's see if we can get, So he came in and we discussed it. We went over it. He showed me all the things. I got in touch with the residents, see how they feel about it. And we're able to bring it in, Another one is JCPenney. We as a electrical contractor, we did a lot of work at Orland Square Mall. There's a JCPenney there. I found out that JCPenney is looking to move away from the inside malls and do a standalone. So they were going to go on 191st and Harlem down that way. So as soon as I found that out, I got a hold of Joe Warner. I got a hold of John Downs and say, hey, listen, here's what's going on. We need to bring them here, So right away, we called meetings with them, and we're able to bring them into Mokena. That's communication. That's leadership. That's getting things done, And that's Joe Warner was like a mentor to me. I learned a lot from him. How to be a good leader, how to be a good communicator more than anything, and be able to talk with your board every week and let them know what's going on, get their input and make things work. Not go on the board and get surprised at things that you never know about.
Yeah. What do you think? You as we said, you've been on the board for 20 years. What will you be able to do differently that you couldn't do as a trustee?
Okay, be a leader from the top. Okay, and as a trustee, the agenda is controlled by the mayor. Okay, what goes on and what doesn't go on. And if it's not the agenda, there's nothing we can do.
So if you have an agenda item that you want on, something you're bringing and the mayor doesn't agree, how do you get it as part of the agenda? Or how can you get it on them?
Well, because we kind of push at it really hard to get it on there, And when it gets on there, there'll be times that we do put it on the agenda and you'll have, the mayor saying, you don't belong in Mokena to this business, and like Andy's frozen custard. He told him you don't belong in Mokena. I mean, things like that. And again, and now that they're in there.
Any
great.
Context to that? Like why he might have said that or thought
I'm not sure. Okay. I'm not sure what his mindset was. That maybe they thought they weren't good enough, or I don't know. That's something he's gonna have to answer, not me. But I mean, just stuff like that. That that's why I said you need somebody that's a good leader, somebody that can lead and move this village forward. And I guarantee you, I will not blame anybody else for my failures if I make any. Whatever I do, I will make things happen. And the way to do that is communication. I'm telling you, it's the most important thing in the world is talking to people, talking to your board, talking to your staff, getting information, getting all your ducks in a row before you start talking to everybody so you know why you need all this stuff and explain to them why. Okay, not just throw things out there and see what happens.
Talk about your relationship with the village administrator as well as some of the staff and how you work with them.
We have a good relationship. I talk to them weekly about things. Excuse me. John Tomasowski calls us every week to let us know what's going to be in the agenda, and we go over it with him. Our economic development director, things that come up, I'll call him up or he'll call me and say, here's what's going on. We have a good relationship with our staff. I do it with our staff. And no matter how you look at it, our staff really pretty much runs things because they're day to day. We're not. But in order to find out what's going on, and a lot of times, they may call me on something that says, hey, can you reach out to this person, and blah, 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 and see what you can do. And I do that, So, yeah, it's important that, again, we go back to communication. Be able to communicate with your staff, be able to communicate with your board, be able to communicate with developers and the residents in Mokena, and, be transparent on what's going on.
Can you talk a little bit, as a trustee, the direct kind of impact you can make and maybe give some examples? And you've given a couple,
as a trustee?
Like maybe examples of things you've directly had an impact on.
Yeah, I can tell you this. On Front Street there, by Governor, that used to be a gravel parking lot, okay? I got calls from residents saying...
So it's Front and Wolf, the Terrafin?
The Terrafin side, yeah.
Okay.
That's what it was called before. But
yeah.
So we graveled that, and we were renting spaces out for the Metro. Well, I would get phone calls. Hey, my wife almost twisted her ankle. Blah blah blah, and also they said, you're renting this out in the wintertime. It gets dark by 3:30, 4 o'clock, and my wife, my daughter, whatever, it's not lit up. It's dangerous. So I said, okay. So I got a hold of Kirk Zollner at the time. I said, let's get ComEd. Call ComEd. We got ComEd to come out to the site. They got all those poles all the way down. Being an electrical contractor, I know what they do, what they can do and not do. So I asked them to, if they could put lights on every one of those hitting the lot without blinding people on the other side. And after a couple of meetings, they agreed to do it at no cost to the village whatsoever.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So they were able to put that up and do it. And then I pushed to get that lot paved for safety reasons, first of all. And it's a temporary pavement that if a developer wants to come in, then, it's not going to be, it didn't cost us, like it would if we had to do it, complete. And that's the other thing is, we don't have a marketing person in our village. We have nobody that can market our town. Nobody that can market our downtown.
And is that a standard thing, something you typically see in surrounding villages?
Yeah. They have. And we need somebody that can market our downtown, let's say, okay? And say, hey, you know what? Here's what we have. Call businesses up. The therapist site, we've had it, 10, 15 years now? Sitting there. There hasn't been a for sale sign put up. It hasn't been put on the market whatsoever. And
it is, or technically is, for sale? Is that right?
But, and we talked about it up there as trustees or whatever, to put up for sale sign and put it up for sale. And nothing happened. Nothing moved forward. Nothing went in the agenda. So, we need a marketing person that can come in and market our town. Our downtown, absolutely, and trying to bring people in. The rest of our town, I'm sorry, my voice is a little off last couple of days, but so we don't have that. That's something I want to get in. I want to make sure that we can market our Mokena, Village of Mokena. And excuse me, we had the Southland before. It wasn't marketing anything. We're paying all this money. We're paying like $40,000 for really maybe putting us on there once or twice. So we're decided to get rid of that.
Get rid of what? What was
the
that?
Southland. Not be within them anymore.
Okay. The South. What is that? The Southland
Chamber of Commerce.
Okay.
Yeah, it's $40,000. We can take that money and use it towards our own marketing person. And so now they came back to us this last time, and they wanted to put us on there for free. Because they get money if they have us on. Okay, so I said, for free, let's do it.
Yeah.
But we do need our own marketing person to do that. And, same thing with the therapist side, getting it paved, getting the lighting in there. Our downtown used to be like stones and stuff like that, and people were tripping over it. It was dangerous. I pushed hard, me and Jillian Herstad actually pushed hard to get those out and put pavers down. And we got that done. And then getting the flower pots and making it look nice, Mm-hmm. We also have a facade program for our downtown. It's $10,000. Somebody wants to improve their facade, we give them $10,000 to do it. We have a TIF. We made a TIF program in there so that it can make it easier for developers to get money to be able to develop there. So there's a lot of things that, you said what I've done as much as I can as a trustee to get this village moving forward, bringing JCPenney in, getting our, downtown,
So there was a village president, I think it was back in November, of the Terrafin site and the potential development there with the restaurant from Payless, which is really exciting, a great looking plan. But nothing else has really come of it. There hasn't appeared to be any offers or a solid offer for purchase. Is there anything that we can point to that's holding that up, or why we don't have hasn't been any more progress there?
I really can't talk too much about it because we're in the process of negotiating with that, okay? But again, it takes communication. It takes leadership to make things happen instead of pushing them back. And that's something that I will do. As a leader, I will do all that. But the therapist side right now with the restaurant and stuff, like I said, I can't really talk too much about it. But it's not dead. It's still there. But it's, again, negotiations. You have to know how to negotiate, right? As a contractor, I did that all the time. I negotiated contracts. I had payroll. I did it with unions, work orders, contracts, all that stuff that as a business owner you learn how to do. Okay, and that's how you learn how to lead and how to be a good leader. So that's. I can't really tell you too much about it because I don't want to. But it's not a dead issue. I think that's something that's in the works of talking about it. But
those type of projects, to me, living in downtown is really exciting because between the dock. I think the dock hopefully will really kick things off.
I think it's going to do really well,
as well as the other business. Zap and so it's good to see. But maybe what would you like to see? What would your ideal downtown Mokena look like?
I like to see a downtown. I like to see our village our downtown to have the restaurants, like even like this Franklin House that they're talking about going in, docks, and maybe a few more, so that people can go out and they want to go here today, there tomorrow, or they want to go here, there, and there, and there. And that's how you get traffic in our downtown. Once you get that in, then you could do maybe your little shops and stuff like that, that people are walking around and they're able to shop, in the little shops. Because right now, and you have to remember, a business has to make money to survive. And without having the foot traffic in our downtown, a business is going to have a hard time surviving. So we need to bring the foot traffic in, okay? Including possibly maybe a walking path that connects, that people can walk into your downtown and stuff. So there's a lot that can be done, but you have to do it. You can't talk about it. You have to do it. And that's something that I'm the type of person that gets things done. I do things. I don't just talk about them. That day one, I'm going to start right off the bat with our, all our ordinances, try to get that update, get modernized, with our electronics. Everything is electronic nowadays. Everything's at your fingertips, and we're still back. We need to move forward.
Anything ordinance-wise specific that, you would want to target first?
There isn't really a specific ordinance that I want, but there's a lot of ordinances that are outdated, okay? Because we have a lot of issues and a lot of problems with residents that have done something already, and it's not against the ordinance, and it's not a bad thing, but it's against the ordinance. It's something that we need to work and look at and get things done. So I can't give you specifics on that, but all ordinances have to be updated and brought up to date, and they have to be put on our website, and the applications that can be up there. So everything's at your fingertips, and you don't have to make appointments to come in, and get this, and you don't have to make appointments to come in and talk to somebody about our ordinance, what they are and stuff. I want to fast track our permit applications and all that, so it doesn't take forever, because unfortunately we're known as the village that is against development, and I hate that. That bothers the heck out of me.
Yeah,
because we're not.
Where do you think that falls? I mean, I've heard the same thing, people that want to come in and it's either just struggles or, kind of walking through mud a lot of times to get things done. I'm sure it can fall on the developer as well as both sides, but how do we make it easier for people wanting to come in?
Again, we fast track it, with the permit applications and our ordinances so people know what they are. Okay, we don't bring them in front of us 2 or 3 times, before we approve anything. Do our homework, work with the developer, work with our staff, get it all set, bring it to the board, move it on. And, it gets frustrating sometimes when you see things are not moving, and, I want things to move.
It's got to be extremely frustrating as a developer
Yes.
I don't know all the situation, but, think about some of the development on Front Street, and, there's somebody with a desire to do something to make it better. You'd hope the village, would work hand in hand.
Yeah, exactly.
To help out. So,
well, like Gino, wanted gaming. Okay, we have gaming everywhere. Arios has it, or else has it. Okay, and he wasn't allowed to put gaming in the downtown. And that's what he called me, George. I can't get nobody in here without the gaming. Can you do anything? And I talked to the rest of the trustees and everything. So, and although Mayor Frank was against it, he got outvoted on it. But as soon as he got the gaming, bam, he got docs. So, things like that, you can help a business person, move forward. Or, something that, inspection-wise, he failed on something, and I'll get involved a little bit and say, okay, is it a life safety thing? What's going on, and we get it resolved, So it's things that good leadership does. I'm telling you, it's in communication. You have to be able to talk to people one-on-one, not just over the phone. I like meeting with people, and that. I like to meet somebody face-to-face, because when I'm talking to them, I can tell where they're at and where they're not. I can tell by their eyes.
Sure.
So I like to see somebody in person, and I do that a lot. I meet people for lunch, This is more casual, more relaxed, and people can talk to you and be honest and see if you can work something out. And I did that through my business, and I continue doing it now as a trustee. And as mayor, I will escalate that.
So as you're talking to people as you're running, what are you finding, what do people bring up that's important to them?
Change. They want change. They're tired of nothing happening. They want somebody in there that can move this village forward. That's what I'm hearing, and I will give that change. Do you want to know about my life? My wife, my kids.
Yeah, I know. Well, yeah, as I said, this one's a little bit more.
Hopefully, I'm giving you information that
Absolutely, I think it's helpful, and part of the reason we talked a lot about that, and I think it was good to get more background. But I have some more lighthearted questions for you as we.
I'm just kidding. I'm just joking with you.
No, and I really appreciate it. It's good to get a kind of a open view of what's going on, and somebody coming in, or not coming in, but changing a position. The perspective that you'll have as you come in.
Being the mayor, okay, the mayor doesn't vote. Okay, so the only time he votes is if it's a tie. If it's 3-3, then he'll vote. But the key is to make sure that hopefully never is a tie. And that's where communication comes in with your trustees. When I was mayor pro tem, I would call every trustee every week before the meetings and discuss the agenda. What do you think about this? What's your viewpoint? What's this? What's that? I would give them mine, and they would give me theirs. And if we don't agree, that's fine. We don't have to agree. Okay, I knew where everybody was at, and if I could convince them the reason why I think it's important, then I would do that. But it's communication with your trustees and your staff, but especially with the trustees, to get things moving and get things done. And that's something that hasn't been going on at all. So that's something I will definitely, I did it, and I'm going to do it again.
So you had time at the beginning of the year when the mayor was out, and you did, as you said, you stepped in as mayor pro tem. So anything else that you share about that, or what that process is like? What did it show you? Did that give you any motivation to run for mayor now?
Well, yes, because I saw how things moved. I mean, we moved the village pretty quick, and I told Tamasaki, bring everything in. Let's not hold back here. Let's get as much stuff as we can done, and we did.
And what is the role of mayor pro tem? Like, are you technically, fully the mayor at that point, or?
Yes. Yeah, a mayor pro tem is, I was appointed by Frank as mayor pro tem, and it's been done in the past, and usually the senior trustee, not always, but usually the senior trustee becomes the mayor pro tem. This way, let's say if the mayor is sick or he's not out or something, you can step in and continue the meetings. So you have full power, And I did that when he was out for those few months when he was in the hospital. And I did that again because he got sick again another time. So I was able to fill in for another month or two, a couple months in. But he took me off mayor pro tem. His reasons were we don't agree on things, on certain things or whatever, so, which is fine. So now every time he's not there, the board has to vote me in as the mayor pro tem every time. So we have to hold a meeting, beginning, and do this and take a vote, and then,
Was there a conversation there of when that happened,
when he took me off?
Yeah.
He said that, we don't see eye to eye on things, and I said, what does that have to do with it? I said, I'm just filling in. But in my opinion, it was political. But that's.
You had at that point you were planning to run already. Do you think it was known? Or?
Not really, to be honest with you. But I think they motivated me a little bit.
Okay.
I think they motivated me a little bit.
So you're running with Melissa Martini for clerk.
Yeah, she's our clerk now.
Melissa Fedora.
She's a trustee already.
Josh Bailey.
He's on an economic development committee. He's also a finance guy. He's also a CPA. He's got a photogenic memory. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Very smart person. very smart. It's somebody that can really help with a lot of the development things that are going on. And then Dan Gilbert, he's on the park board now. Okay. And then you got Colleen, she's been in town for forever. I mean, I don't know if she was born here, but she was here since she was little. She knows a lot of people, She's involved in a committee with our village also. And she's very smart. A woman that she wanted to run for an office. She wanted to, to help, to be able to make a difference, Colleen Leonard. And so I think I have a great group of people running with me that I think this group can move this village forward. They really can, because they're all smart. I have young, I have older, it's a combination of women, I have guys. So actually there's 3 women and 3 guys running. So, me, Josh, and Dan, and then you got, Melissa, and Colleen. So I think this group can really make a difference in this village. I think we could be a working board that we can work together and make things happen. They're all smart. They're all involved in the village in one way or another. They're all involved. They're on a committee or they've done stuff. So, and Dan, he's not been on the park board. I don't know if it's second term or whatever. He's been elected a couple of times, I think. So he knows how government works and how things are. So yeah, we got a very good group. I'm very proud of them.
What went into putting your slate together?
Well, I was trying to find people that I believe that have independent thinking, people that have, that are smart, people that love their village, first of all, and want to see it move forward and succeed. So I made some calls. I talked to a couple of them election ago about it. They were interested and stuff. It just didn't work out at the time. So I contacted them. I met with them, and had a conversation to see if our philosophies are, the same. We don't have to agree. And I told them, we don't have to agree on everything. If you're set on something like that, on something, then it's, but let's communicate. Let's talk and respect each other up there. Let's not yell at each other and but so this is how, and then I had the rest of the team kind of meet them, and we decided to put the slate together and move forward.
So how are you getting your message out?
Well, right
now
now
the signs came rolling out this week.
The signs finally starting to come out. Well, the weather obviously now impaired us from putting more signs up.
It gets a little hard in frozen ground, doesn't it?
We put about 25 4x4s up. I ordered another 20.
Okay.
So we got a lot more coming.
Yeah.
And with yard signs, people are asking me, coaching football, I coached the Burros for 20 years. The kids that I coach now are, adults. So they're like, Coach, I need signs. So I said, okay.
Talk about that, because I thought we talked about it when we walked around the park, but I still think it's interesting, the scoreboard.
Yeah.
And that you were responsible for getting this scoreboard.
The Burros used to have a wagon or something. They pulled a scoreboard out, and put it out, set it on there, and it did for a lot of years that way. And at one point, I decided, we need a scoreboard. So I was able to contact Coca-Cola, I think it was at the time, and I said, hey, I need a scoreboard for an organization. What can you guys do? So I talked to them for a few times. They decided they were going to donate the scoreboard.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Again, that's what leaders do, correct? They lead and they get things done. So I was able to get that scoreboard in. We put it up, wired it, and at no cost to the Burros whatsoever or anybody. So
that's great. That was a neat little history, memory, thing to learn. Talk about your relationship with the Park District. What have you done? Any
I have a really good relationship with the Park District. They reach out to me a lot of times about things, especially now with the development that they're doing. Not development, but the barn, finishing it up and stuff like that. They've had some issues on things. They call me up. I'd meet them over there, discuss it, go over it, get them resolved. We move forward. The park, when I was coaching football, obviously we had a really good relationship because it's at the park. We're doing it. So I get along with everybody at the park. We communicate, not on a daily basis or weekly, but we communicate. If there's anything they need, they call me, and I know a few of them on there personally. So, and I think it's very important that we work together with our park district, the village, like the fireworks. We're able to partner with them, split the cost, and we're doing it at, at their park. So I think it's important. I think it's important to support them, and they support us.
The one thing that always comes up is the Yunker farm there, and that the big field that really sits between the park and downtown. Any thoughts there, or what? Well,
I've talked to some people at the park about it, and some are saying, well, we don't have a lot of open field anymore. That'd be nice to make like a walking area and things, for the residents to enjoy. Development there. I haven't got into depth with them in that conversation about that. What if they're looking to possibly sell it or develop it or do something? But I think it'd be a shame to. You got such a nice open area. There's residents all around there. Yeah. To do something that's going to impair the residents in any way. So they're doing a little comp plan themselves right now, a 5-year plan, I think it is. So let's see what that all comes out to be and what they're looking to do. So that's a conversation that we will have in the future.
You bring up the comp plan again, and the village is going through that whole process. What's the next step? Once the company delivers, they bring a plan to you? Is that how it works?
What they'll do is they'll bring a plan to us and say, okay, here's what we figured out, okay, that your downtown needs this, and this. 191st, you need certain businesses here, certain businesses there, what we need to do. So do we need any traffic studies on anything? They will give us an idea, and it's not a brand new comp plan because our village is pretty much built out. It's more updating our comp plan because right now our comp plan is like 20 years old, So, and I push for that to happen, obviously, and I put it in the budget for it. But once they come back with their recommendations, then staff will present it to the board. We'll sit there, we'll discuss it, we'll talk about it to see exactly, even like extending the downtown area instead of being just here and here, maybe extend it down to Wolf Road or whatever, to make it even bigger because our downtown is actually kind of small. So, and we want to be able to attract businesses into our downtown area. So there's a lot of things and I don't want to get ahead of what they want to recommend, but they're going to make their recommendations and then I'll come back to the board and then we act on them.
Well, our village at one point has had bars all the way almost to Schoolhouse Road.
Yeah.
It's been a long time, but I could see a longer stretch of Front Street.
Yes. Not saying that I'm just saying that's a possibility.
Sure, yeah.
That's a possibility. But
it's good to, I think that it's great to have dreamers in office.
Sure.
As well as the balance of people that, bring you to reality. But it's a good balance to have.
It is.
In our
it is. If you don't dream, you're not alive.
Good, true, yeah. What do you think over the next 5 to 10 years are the things that are going to be the biggest challenges for our village?
I think our biggest challenges are going to be maintaining our businesses here. Because right now with everything online, and you can order everything online and bring it to your house, you're not going to see strip malls going in anymore. Even businesses, because it's so easy. It's so much easier, and I'm sure you've done it, and I've done it too. Well, you want something, you go, it's at your front door. Yeah. And I think that's going to be a challenge in the future to keep, businesses open in Mokena. Not just in Mokena, but anywhere, but I'm concerned about Mokena. With all that going on, and it's going to get easier and easier to order things online than it is to go somewhere and shop. Mm-hmm. And they say, well, you got to wear something. You have to see, they order 2 or 3 things and they send the rest back. And so that's going to be a challenge to maintain our business. Because without our businesses, what happens to us? Sales tax and stuff goes down, But,
hustle and heart on front there has been a good. I've heard a lot of people say the same thing. It's really hard to bring like a retailer or somebody. That's a very kind of niche thing. But man, the groups of young girls you see coming out getting custom hats made, or football moms.
Imagine if you had, more restaurants. And
sure.
sports
If
bars.
they could walk down somewhere and have a drink afterwards.
And that's the key for small business to succeed. You need to have that. You need to have that base.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm going to concentrate on.
So, what does your wife think of all this?
My wife is not a political person, okay? She doesn't get involved in all this stuff. And she said, this is what you want to do, I'll support you, but that's your thing, okay? And I respect that.
Sure.
I wouldn't want her to be involved in everything that I do politically, because she's not that. And, she supports me 100%, but she's not somebody that likes that title of First Lady, let's say, or to be out in public with everybody. She's not that type of person, which is fine. I respect that for her.
And you tell us about her.
Right now, we have my daughter and my 2 grandkids living with us. We've had them for a while, so it's kind of taken up a lot of time.
Sure.
It really has, make sure they get on the bus on time, they get off the bus on time. My daughter's working. We have to be there for them all the time. And, it's tough. My wife went through some health issues in the past, and she made it out okay, and so far. So it's been a trying time, I get a little emotional when I talk about it.
Sure.
I didn't want to lose her, it was tough. It was tough. Yeah.
And you talk a lot about your grandkids, and you said you just had a birthday celebrated for one of them.
Yeah, Logan.
Okay.
And Braden next month.
And we got to meet them. I think they were on my video of the police station walkthrough too, right?
Yeah. The characters. Logan has just turned 13. That kid's grown like a weed. All of a sudden, the last 6 months, he's like, not that I'm not tall, but he's only 12, just turned 13, as tall as me. But, and they're great kids. They're very smart. They both get straight A's in school. Very proud of them. They play football.
Where do they play football?
They play for the Junior Knights.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They figure they got
no influence there to get them over to the Burrows?
Well, unfortunately, they're not Burrows anymore.
Right.
They're Junior Celtics.
Yeah.
And they travel all over the place. And with my daughter being a single mom, and with us, it's easier to put them with the Junior Knights because they don't travel as far and do all these things, because it's going to be very hard for her or for us to do that. So, and plus, they're going to go to Central. So all those kids they're playing with, they're all going to play. And there's a lot, actually, believe it or not, there's a lot of Mokena kids that play there.
So what do you bring? Are you on the sidelines yelling at helping out those coaches?
They've been trying to get me to coach again.
Yeah.
Okay? And I told them I did that for 20 years. I said, I just enjoy sitting there coaching, but being a coach, ex-coach, I'd say, why the heck would they call that play? But then again, I'm sure people said that about me, but when I was coaching. But no, it's fun. It's fun to sit there and watch them play and not have to, because when I was coaching, I would start in March, getting my playbook, getting my camp schedule, my practice schedule, because I used to hold my own camp, Metanias football camp, and I wouldn't charge the kids anything. It was free to them, and not only charge, but I would buy them T-shirts to give them for free.
Where would you do that?
Green Meadows Park.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And
how many kids would you get coming up to that?
Anywhere from 40 to 60 kids.
Jeez, yeah. Wow. That's pretty cool.
So, I'd work with them and, get them ready to, and then the Burrows would have their football camp right after when I had it, so they got, more experience. And then when we came together, we, a lot of them knew a lot of things that they would have to learn, so,
So how did you guys do? How was
very
how
good.
Was your teams?
Well, we won a lot of championships.
Nice.
Undefeated seasons. Actually, in 2005, we won the championship undefeated. Linkway won their championship undefeated.
Wow.
And The Sox won their championship.
It's a good year for everybody.
Yeah,
What do you
and that's when I got elected on the board.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it was a great year all the way around.
Yeah.
It was just unbelievable. It was awesome. Yeah.
Well, anything else you want to share? Maybe tell voters, why you're the right choice.
Well, I think I kind of brought that up. I think if you want to change, vote for me. If you want the same, stay where you're at. But I think that I can bring business type leadership into this village, that we can get things done and move things forward. I will not push things aside. I will not say, let's think about it, let's talk about it, put this here, put this there. I will move this village forward and bring it up to date, especially with our electronics and everything, with our website and even our cameras that we on Channel 6, they're all outdated. There's when you watch it, it looks like a haze.
It looks like the 1990s.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because nothing has changed. Nothing has moved forward. And I want to be that person that does that. And I will do it. Guarantee you. From day one, I will start. I'm not going to wait.
Well, Trustee Metanias, I really appreciate you sitting down with me. As our podcast we've been doing this for 2 years, and to have a sitting trustee and mayoral candidate sit down with, I appreciate that, and I want to extend a thank you as well for doing that. You can check out all of our candidate interviews with the rest of the Friends of Mokena slate. And
Friends of Mokena, don't forget that name. Everybody on that slate will move this village forward. And we are going to have a working board up there. Please come out and vote, and come to our meet and greets. This is how you're going to meet everybody. Unfortunately, you're the only venue that we have in Mokena that can get out. We don't have a newspaper anymore. We don't have any of that. So please come out and meet our candidates, every one of us, and ask questions, listen to what we got to say, and hopefully you'll like it and you'll vote for us.
So early voting starts March 17th. We'll have all these out by then. So please share. And again, Trustee Metanias, thank you for meeting with me.
Thanks, Israel. Great job.